However, something that gets lost in talking about Kyle Shanahan and his fourth quarter woes is the amount of success he's had so early in his coaching career. So to only be a head coach for 5 years and to be in two NFC championship games, already be in a Super Bowl, that is saying a lot. Now, the problem becomes is only one team ends up winning at the end of the season, right? And if you're not one of those one teams, obviously your season wasn't a success, quote unquote, if those are your goals. But also, that's when everybody's only watching one game. And that one game is the game that you're watching. So I was mentioning this on a show that I was doing with Mav. The coach for the Chargers calling the timeout in week 18, where it looked like the Raiders were about to run out the clock and both teams were going to make the playoffs. That play nobody's talking about anymore because it was week 18 and there were so many games after it. The moments that Kyle Shanahan shrinks are moments where there is no real game afterwards, or it's just the Super Bowl afterwards. It's when everybody's watching. So everybody's going to have an opinion because they're watching this. And to me, I think it's more about a fifth-year head coach learning the ropes and having so much success, and then maybe not dealing with the intricacies or the moves that the I guess the counter punches that the opposing coach is doing, and having to learn that. And I think that's what a lot of coaches have to deal with. It's just Kyle Shanahan is learning at the highest level in the biggest moments with one of the most storied franchises in the league, right? So it's just everything gets exaggerated for him. And if you look at, this, it wasn't too long ago that Andy Reid was spoken the same way as Kyle Shanahan, right? For those of you that might not know, Andy Reid was epic with the Eagles. He was in every single NFC championship game. His offenses was doing great. And everybody looked at him as you couldn't win the big game, right? He made it to the Super Bowl once with a very, very talented team, multiple NFC championships, but he couldn't win the big game. Goes to Kansas City, wins one with Kansas City, and now all of a sudden nobody looks at him as a coach that can't win the big game, right? Now he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. He was one of the greatest coaches of all time before that. He just hadn't won the Super Bowl. So I look at Kyle Shanahan. I think that he's doing a great job. I think he's just a young coach. And I love that, we're getting to those games and we're starting to see Shanahan change in his demeanor, and bringing in a guy like Anthony Lynn, I think is going to help, that in the future, when this moment happens again, that he has another brain to maybe bounce some things off of that isn't just somebody who Shanahan built. You know what I mean? So it's going to be an outside thought process. Mike McDaniel, for however great he is, everything he has, he owes to Kyle Shanahan. Anthony Lynn isn't going to be that way. So I think that's going to be something that, bodes well moving forward.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. I just, like I said, I don't want to say that he shrinks in big games because I think that would be unfair. But I mean, do you not agree that there's clearly a trend?
Absolutely.
9 points and 7 play. I mean, you're supposed to be. We can talk about how blowing the games, maybe on the quarterback or the Falcons game, you're playing against the GOAT and you weren't the head coach. I get that. Like, let's take blowing the games out of it. Like, who cares about how much they were up, period. Just the fourth quarter, though, whether you won the game, lost the game, regardless, 9 points and 7, that's worrisome to me. Like, you're supposed to be an offensive genius. 9 points in 7 games. To me, I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't want to make it as if he can't get over this or, whatever the issue is. I just think that people are skirting it under the rug as if this is not a big deal. And I think it's a bigger deal than what people are willing to make of it.
Look, I think that there's definitely something to be said that Kyle Shanahan's plan A, when effective, is elite. The problem is when plan A isn't effective, I haven't seen plan B work very well. And that's, I think, where he needs to grow a little bit. And you look at least the 2 games in the playoffs that he lost with Kansas City. Kansas City had 2 weeks to all they had to focus on was the 49ers and the 49ers offense. The Rams is a team that's played the 49ers so many times and have probably been focusing on this game, especially Sean McVay, for a long time. So these are both two teams that knew the 49ers very well, knew Shanahan's tendencies very well, and the defense, they made changes that Kyle Shanahan couldn't adjust to on the fly. And I think that's something that is a fair criticism is Kyle Shanahan needs to learn how to adjust quicker on the fly. And I also think having a quarterback that could make some plays without him having to come up with the perfect scheme is going to help take some pressure off of him as well. Because I'm pretty sure Zach, what's his name? Zach, the coach with Cincinnati,
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor, that play where Joe Burrow is dancing through the offensive line and, somebody's on his ankles and he's just like high stepping out of it and stuff like that. Pretty sure that wasn't drawn up that way. You know what I mean? So to have a quarterback that could do that makes the coach look a lot better as well. Kyle Shanahan hasn't had that ability to have a quarterback make him look better than he actually is. Hopefully Trey can be that guy. And so, maybe Shanahan gets that win, right?